Genie Gang. Genie Gang calls that the Aqua. Tell me why. Look at it. Yeah, it looks like an ocean and it has a waterfall going down the side. I have a question. Guess who owned the penthouse? Lady Gaga. On the right side, Alfred Stone built the Aon Center in 1974. He clad it with Italian Carrara marble. It was this thick. In 12 winters, the marble cracked and fell off the building. They had to strip the entire building and reclad it with North Carolina granite at the cost of $80 million. Ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show you cannot take marble for granted. I promised my wife I would never say that again as long as I live. This is where they dye the river green. What color's the dye? Oh, not blue, no, not yellow. Orange vegetable dye is correct. That dyes the river green on St. Patrick's Day. Why do they call Chicago the second city? Yeah, the first city was before the fire. The second city is after the fire. Look at the Swiss Hotel. The architect is, and I forgot. Harry Weiss is the architect. He wanted that building to look like what? The bow of a ship. Now, I know this is hard. Don't hurt your neck. Look up at that brand new building. Cup your hands for the sun. Can you see it? Can you see the hole on the 83rd floor? That is a $20 million mistake. The building, look at my hand. The building failed the wind shearing test. So they had to take 2 condos out so the wind could go through the building. I'll ask my architect this. What's on top of that building to keep it from shuttering? Water is correct. Oh, you're so smart. 400,000 gallons of water is correct. By the way, I'll ask you, what did the penthouse sell for? $6 million is way low. And did you say $20 million? That is correct. The building is called the St. Regis. Now here's where it gets weird. What the gang did that no other art architect does. It made all the difference in the world. It cost a fortune. Can you see it? Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you're on it. I don't want you to answer all my questions, sir. If you live in that building, you have a view of the river, but you also have a view of the lake. Look what she did. She's got corners in her living room. So you're in your living room and you can see the sun come up in the morning over Lake Michigan. How cool is that? Okay? Now, how deep is the river? You are correct. How many fish in the river? Excellent. Now look at my hand. The river used to... Gentlemen, I am thrilled. The bar is now open on me. I've never seen this upper deck evacuate that fast. Never. And that's a true story. Now, there's the pump station. Now, focus on the lighthouse. Can you see it? What year was it built? 1900. All the lighthouses in the United States were automated in 1967. The last person that lived there got married there. Aw, his wife was not happy. She left him after 1 year, and then they evicted the guy. Why? On Saturday nights, he used to have parties at the lighthouse. His buddies would dock their boat at the break wall, and when the tour boats went by, they'd moon us. He found the boat. That filters 1.2 billion gallons of water every day. Are you guys remember Playboy magazine? He said no. Playboy's corporate headquarters. I have a question. Who was the first centerfold? Oh, come on, you know. Marilyn Olive is the first African American from Chicago to receive the Medal of Honor. Chicago is so proud of this man. They dedicated a 10.5 acre park. I always talk about him because your old tour guide is a Vietnam veteran. I was drafted in 1969. I served in the artillery. I was along the Ashaw Valley. We were with the 101st Airborne Division. I gotta tell you, folks, I don't Oh, who said the Sears Tower? No, that's the John Hancock. That's the to John Hancock. I have a question. Do the antennas count in the height? They do not. Tell him they are removable. I can ride my bike 18 miles without stopping. And if you're an early riser like me, come down to the lake in the morning and watch the sun come up. It is absolutely phenomenal. Take a look. Now, where did Oprah Winfrey live? Look to the left of the Hancock. You'll see Water Tower Place. That was the tallest vertical mall in the United States. The architect is Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. To the right is Bloomingdale's. The architect is Picard and Chilton. And that is a gorgeous north side. Now, a couple of questions. Why do they call Michigan Avenue the Miracle Mile, or the Magnificent Mile? The Realtors named it in 1947. Is basically how it happened. I have another question. Where's my Chicago? What year did the deep dish pizza come out? You should know this. You're an architect. 1943. Yeah, so the deep dish came out in 1940. By the way, all the Italian people from Italy that I have on my boat don't like the deep dish. I'm just telling you, they do not like the deep dish. Okay, now, we're going all the way to the south side of our city. At this point, we take a little break. Once we get to the south side, I'm going to narrate all the way to the lock, and then I'm going to give you an architecture tour. Now, I've got some bad news. Yesterday, I had 200 fifth graders on my boat. I gave them a 30-question quiz. They missed 7. My question is, are you smarter than a fifth grader? We'll see how this goes. Take a break, relax. Center of New York. You know the centerpiece, the RCA building? There's the NBC Towers. It's almost the same building. The University of Chicago Bleacher Center on the right side, 27 classrooms by Dirk Loham. I have the graduating class of the University of Chicago on my boat. You know what they call the University of Chicago? The place where fun goes to die. 95 Nobel Prize winners. Do you have an Apple phone? There's our new Apple store. The roof is supposed to look like a laptop. If you watch Notre Dame burning in Paris, there's the top to Notre Dame. It is all done in neo-Gothic. Take a look, 1925. My favorite building in our city is the Wrigley Building. What is Wrigley known for? Chewing gum. And if you look at the terracotta plates on the outside, it looks like pieces of chewing gum. The building's clock on top was designed after a clock in Seville, Spain. The building was built in 1921. Take a look. Now, don't hurt your back. Look straight up, cup your hands for the sun, and look up at the Trump International Hotel and Tower. The top of that building has to withstand 110 mile an hour winds. I like details. 704 million pounds of concrete, 28,000 truckloads, 92 stories, 27 elevators. I have a question. The penthouse is for sale. What are they asking? $30 million. The architect is Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. Yeah, the building is absolutely beautiful. For my architect, we had a chance to meet with Adrian Smith. He's an amazing, have you ever met him? He's an amazing guy. He really is a nice man. He spent an hour with us. Amazing. What's the architect's name that designed the black building on the right? He's from Germany. Yeah, Mies Menderow is correct. Now take your cell phone out and take a picture of the most photographed building in Chicago. The Corn Cobs. The architect is Bertrand Goldberg. They are all condominiums. His philosophy is there are no right angles in nature. All of his buildings are round. I got to tell you something. I love that building. And I got to tell you something. When things go for sale, people want to live there. Now, let me give you a factoid you're not going to believe. I want you all to focus on the parking lot. Can you see the 17 rows? Are you ready? Only 2 cars have ever fallen off that parking structure. During the filming of The Hunter, they pushed the 1979 Pontiac Grand Prix off the 17th floor. Raise your hand if you remember Steve McQueen, because his last film was in that building. He was my hero, by the way. Motorcycles and Marlboros. What a cool guy. Yeah, and he also did a commercial. Does anybody on the boat remember the Bob Newhart show? Okay, if you remember the Bob Newhart show, that opening scene on the patio was on that building.
Yeah.
I've already asked my architect, so I'm not going to ask him, but this is how tall you've got to be a skyscraper. 495 feet, 35 stories. The architect is Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. You may not know this. Chicago has 125 buildings that tall or taller. Yeah, this is the center of the center of the universe. There's no city in the world more beautiful than Chicago. None. Architecturally, yeah. Love this. Go ahead. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Yeah. I wish I knew more of that detail. This building is my favorite warehouse. I spent my life working in warehouses. This is a 1914 warehouse. Can you see the clock on top? That's how people knew what time to get to work. The building, by the way, is done by Lemons as the architect. Good afternoon. Hello. She's all excited. Any engineers on board? Raise your hand if you're an engineer in water. I did a tour last weekend. I asked, are there any engineers on board? 25 people raised their hand. And guess what happened to your old tour guide? The guy who drew the first building came on my boat. They did it in black pencil, and they liked it so much, they looked for black granite. Yeah. You guys remember Al Capone? Al Capone used to, oh, hello, ladies. Al Capone used to go to the top of this building and get a cocktail during Prohibition. There was a bar up there called the Stratosphere Lounge. The building had an elevator you could drive your car into. I know we talked a little bit about military. This is the Vietnam Memorial Park. The Vietnam Memorial Park has a black marble square. On that square are 3,000 names of the men and women who lost their lives in Vietnam from the state of Illinois. I've been asked to do something. I got a call from a veteran, and on July the 20th, he's asked me to host all the vets on my boat. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, from Chicago, yes, crazy. Coming up on the right side, take a look at that tall, skinny building. That's called the Mather Building. That was the tallest building in the United States of America for 2 weeks. And look at this beautiful mural. And there's your dock. Everybody on the boat? Hey guys. Hello. Hello. Sit down for the docking process. If you're standing up, take a seat. If you can't take a seat, put your feet like this. All right, I've got some bad news. We're late. But to get off this boat, you gotta pass a quiz. If you do not pass this quiz, you're staying on the boat with me and helping me sweep up. The Chicago flag has 4 red stars. They all start with the letter F. What's the first one? Fort Dearborn. What's the second? The Fire. What's the third? What's the fourth? You all get to get off the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, I've learned a ton about Chicago. There's nothing I enjoy more than sharing my knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on the Lake and River Tour. You know what I love about you guys? And it's hot and we're late. Nobody fell asleep. I've got to be the first one off the boat. Watch your step going down the ramp. I'll meet you downstairs to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us.